If you think $100 is too little to start investing, you're already making the biggest mistake most people make. Because there's a guy, we'll call him this guy, and this guy thought the exact same thing. He believed $100 wouldn't make any difference. But one day, he decided to test that belief. Not with a big plan, not with expert knowledge, just with action. Now here's where it gets interesting. This guy started investing with just $100, and within the first week, he almost lost it. His portfolio dropped. $100 turned into $92, and that's the moment where 90% of people quit. Panic kicks in, emotions take over, and they exit before they even understand what's happening. But this guy didn't quit. Not because he was confident, but because he made one small shift in thinking. He stopped treating that $100 like get-rich-quick money and started treating it like learning money, not lottery money. And that decision changed everything. At the beginning, this guy was just like anyone else. Confused, overwhelmed. Everywhere he looked, people were saying different things. Buy stocks, buy crypto. This is the next big thing. But no one was explaining a simple starting point. And this is exactly where most people get stuck. Not because they don't have money, but because they wait for clarity that never comes. But instead of waiting, this guy simplified things. He didn't try to be perfect. He just focused on starting smart. So if you have $100, here's exactly what this guy did and what you can do too. He divided his money, not randomly, but intentionally. He put around $60 into something stable, like a broad market index fund, something that tracks the overall market, like an S&P 500 ETF. This wasn't exciting, but it was reliable. Then he took $30 and invested in strong, well-known companies, not hype stocks, not random tips, companies with a track record, and the remaining $10, he allowed himself to experiment. High risk, crypto or a fast-growing stock. Not to gamble, but to learn how volatility feels. Now here's the mistake most people make. They go all in on the risky part. This guy didn't do that. He understood that investing isn't about one big win. It's about staying in the game long enough to win consistently. And this is where everything starts to shift. Because once he invested, reality hit. The market didn't go up smoothly. It moved up and down. Some days he was in profit, some days in loss. And that emotional roller coaster, that's where most beginners fail. But this guy remembered something important. Doing nothing is sometimes the smartest decision. Instead of checking his portfolio every hour, instead of reacting to every drop, he zoomed out. He gave his investments time. And then he did something even more powerful. He stayed consistent. Every month, no matter what the market was doing, this guy added a small amount, $20, sometimes $30. Not because it was a lot, but because he understood a simple truth. Consistency beats intensity. While others were waiting for the perfect time, this guy was building momentum. And here's where most people don't realize the real magic. It wasn't just his money growing, it was his understanding. He started learning, reading, watching, understanding how money actually works, why markets go up, why they crash, why good investments take time. And with that knowledge came confidence. Now fast forward a few months. Nothing crazy happened. No overnight success, no viral gains, but his $100 plus small monthly investments slowly turned into something bigger. Let's say after 6 months, with consistent investing, it reached around $250 to $300. Not life-changing money, but a life-changing mindset. Because now, this guy wasn't guessing anymore. He had a system. But right at this point, something dangerous happened. He saw someone online turn a small amount into thousands through crypto. And for a moment, he felt it. That urge. That voice saying, "You're going too slow." And this is where most people destroy their progress. They abandon strategy and chase excitement. But this guy didn't do that. He reminded himself, slow is sustainable, fast is fragile. He stayed with his plan. And that decision saved him from mistakes that most beginners regret for years. Because here's the truth, no one tells you. Most people don't lose money because of bad investments. They lose money because of bad decisions, emotional decisions, impatient decisions, comparison-driven decisions. This guy avoided all three. Over time, his system became simple. Invest regularly, stay diversified, ignore noise, think long-term, no complexity, no hype, just discipline. And that's when the real transformation happened, not in his bank account, but in his mindset. Because now he understood money. He understood that wealth isn't built in days, it's built in habits. And most importantly, he understood that starting small is not a weakness. It's actually an advantage, because you learn without risking everything. Now think about this. Most people say, I'll start when I have more money. But what they don't realize is, waiting is expensive. Every year you delay, you lose time. And in investing, time is the most powerful asset you have. This guy didn't wait. He started with what he had, and that's why he's ahead of most people. Even if his portfolio isn't massive yet. Because he took action when others were still thinking. So if you're sitting there with $100 thinking it's not enough, just remember, this guy had the same $100. The only difference is he didn't let it sit. He didn't wait for perfect knowledge. He didn't wait for confidence. He started. And you can too. Start small. Start simple. Start today. Because in the end, it was never about the $100. It was about becoming the kind of person who knows what to do with it.